Hello friends, this is David Ha'ivri. I am your tour guide in Jerusalem today. If you have been watching my recent videos, then you might be able to identify where we are. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about that, see the landmarks behind me and see if you can identify them. If you can't, then you should go back and check some more of my recent videos. Today, I'm going to answer a question that I've received from many viewers, and that is, where can I exchange my foreign currency for Israeli shekels? So we're going to take a walk and check out some places nearby where you can exchange your dollars, British pounds, euro, or whatever type of currency you have, maybe even Bitcoin, and turn it into shekel cash for your tour in Israel. I hope that you've subscribed, and I hope that you've checked the notification button. So if you haven't, please go ahead and check that subscribe button, and also feel free to send in your questions and comments about these videos. Now I'm going to flip around the camera. I'll flip around me. Here you can see the lion at the Safra Square, symbol of Jerusalem, the lion, and flip it around again and you can see the Tzahal Square. Tzahal is the IDF, and there you can see the I Love Jerusalem and the new heart sculpture where you can come and lock your love to Jerusalem or to whoever you love. The sculpture with the shape of the heart closer to me has a grid, a fence type of a platform surface where you can go and place a padlock. This, of course, is the right train, and behind the train you can see the Ottoman walls of the old city of Jerusalem. You can see the San Salvador. You can see the Freire Brothers High School. And the Mount of Olives, the Mount of Zion is a little further in the back. Can you see the monastery? The Dormition Abbey Monastery, but it's not lit up, so it's there behind the heart. Now we're turning up Jaffa Street. We've done this before, but again, today we are answering a question in regard to where can I exchange my foreign currency for Israeli shekels. Here's one change place. We're going to see a whole bunch of them. There are simply change places. You can come over here. This is that, and I'm not doing any. This is not a paid promotion. I have no business with any of the places that I'm showing you. This is just a public service for you to know that there are change places where you can go and exchange your foreign currency for shekels. I'm crossing over carefully before the right train comes my way. We're at the City Hall. Notice the sign here, public restrooms. In a recent video, I walked over to those restrooms and showed where they are. So we've walked a couple of meters up the street, and here there's another change place. It's just as simple as that. Behind the train station is the Safra Square. Interesting that this street is called Shushan, which has to do with the holiday of Purim, which is coming up pretty soon. If you know about that, tell us in the comments. Tell us how the name of this street, Shushan, is connected to the holiday of Purim. See the electronic sign in the train station says 3 minutes till the next train, and it has this notice in Arabic and Hebrew. Here, by the way, for all of those people who are following what's going on in Ukraine, here's Putin's pub. Right across the street from the Safra Square. Stay on towards the end, because I will show you a change place that I typically use, although this is not any particular advice, because I do not know to say which place gives better rates, but it should be pretty straightforward. When you go to these change places, they should have a sign that they've updated saying exactly what their rates are. And if they charge a commission, a lot of these places, I think, claim that they're not charging a commission. So if you're exchanging a large amount, or if those percentages are important to you, then you can just ask them exactly what the deal is, what the exchange rate is, what their commission is, and you can do the math and figure out if that's a good deal for what you need to do. Now here is the post office. See the post office and the post office building? The post office also provides a change service, which is also, to what they advertise, as no commission. So that is also a place where you can go and exchange your foreign currency. Here, by the way, is an exchange for used books. It's one of a couple of used book stores that are available in Jerusalem. So if this isn't for exchange of money, but if you need reading material, if you're looking for older books or used books, or it's a nice place to visit. They have a very nice collection of books in Hebrew and English, and also language learning, like for learning Hebrew and learning Arabic. Here we've got another change place. This is the third place that we've seen since we started today. And that place is at the Generali Square. I'm going to spin around. This is the Russian compound, the Russian church, and the Generali building. So we saw, and that's the third we saw, and we're just walking up Jaffa Street. So far we've seen 3 businesses and the post office. That's 4.
המכון הזה שהיא עובדת בו.
So far this has been the longest segment that we've walked on Jaffa Street without seeing a change place. So far we've seen 4, but at the Zion Square, which is right in front of us, we're going to see some more. Not only that, there is also an ATM here that you can use with your credit card to get cash. So that's also an option. And some of these ATMs also have the ability to give you dollars in cash. So here's one right in front of us at the Zion Square. Again, you see change. There was at one time an ATM right here, but it's not here anymore. But there is one further up the Ben Yehuda Street. So here we have change. It says euro change, but they change dollars too. Dollars, euro. Here's another one. Jerusalem change. Typically I'll go to this place. And here's another change, no commission. Again, you can ask any of them what their commission is and if they charge commission. You don't need to rely on the sign alone. If you're doing shopping, you can stop by a couple of them and ask them what their terms are. I am walking up Ben Yehuda Street. So if you watch this video and you've noticed that I skipped any of these change places, then you can point that out in the comments as well. Now here at this bank, the Mizrahi Tzfachot Bank, there's an ATM. We'll go by and see that in a moment, but there's another no commission focus change right here in the middle of the Ben Yehuda Mall, open mall. I think that there might be some more down that street as well, but this time we're going to just keep walking straight. You see this ATM? It says that you can withdraw in shekels, euro, and dollars. And it says here, hello. You can press that and get the English. So I've already lost track of the number of exchange places we've seen. I think it's somewhere about 9 so far. And there's at least another one here to my right. Here you go. And another one to my left.
Minsan nakaisip ako, sabi ko, ibinta ko kaya yung bigyan ko kaya ng sabi ko ng bagay ko sa akin. Bawa.
So I figured that was about 12 that we've seen so far. And now, this is the Talitha Kumi. This funny structure in the middle is a piece of an orphanage that stood here at one time and was dismantled in this to build these newer buildings. And this part of the clock tower on top of the building was preserved. We're now walking back on King George Street. We're walking on King George back to Jaffa Street. Here across the street there is a bank, Hapoalim, which also has ATMs here in the front and also on the upper level and behind. So those ATMs also might have the ability to withdraw a foreign currency if you'd like to withdraw directly from your account and do the exchange at one of these places that we've seen or others that we haven't seen. But as you can note now, after this tour, there's actually quite an amount of places that you can find right here in the center of town.
Yeah, it's all in my cup.
although this whole tour was about exchange places for changing your foreign currency, of course, we got a nice evening walk in the center of town in Jerusalem. We started off at the Tzahal IDF Square near the City Hall and the Old City of Jerusalem. Then we walked up Jaffa Street. We noted a couple of change places. We saw the post office that also provides the change service. Walked to Kekar Tzion, the Zion Square. We saw a couple of places there. Walked up the Ben Yehuda Open Mall. And we saw a couple more places there. And now we've returned. We've reached back to the Jaffa Street. And we are walking up Jaffa Street. You could say towards the Machane Yehuda market. If you lack means of transportation, you can ride your couch on the light rail tracks. I think that is in the spirit of Purim, the holiday of masquerading that is coming up. Or maybe the fellow just likes having a good time. Note that there's public restrooms right here across the street in this little box building across the street.
Can get nice.
So again, we've done quite a span without seeing a change place. And our conclusion regarding that is that the more central areas, near the City Hall, near the Zion Square, on the Ben Yehuda Mall, those are all places where you can find the change. But we'll see if there's not another one here near the Davidka. If you've noticed any change places that I've passed by without pointing out, then please let me know and write that. This is an interesting map of Jerusalem from the time of the end of the Second Temple. Maybe it's actually an aerial view of the model. It is the model of Jerusalem, the Second Temple, which is called the Holy Land model. But it seems that this photo was taken when the model was under construction and not completed, because the model at the Israel Museum has red roofs on many of the buildings. Not all, but many it does. I'll try to come back another time to pay more attention to the display, the photographs that are on display here. Here are some discount stores. The Stock Zol, or the Zol Stock. Everything for 1 shekel, everything for 10 shekels. There's a whole bunch of low cost or discount or whatever you like to call those different types of stores. We are coming up to the Machane Yehuda Shuk and Market. We're still on Jaffa Street. If you're in the center of Jerusalem and you see the rails, then you're probably on Jaffa Street. As you could say, from the old city behind us in the east to the central bus station in the west. The light rail goes all along the Jaffa Street, the entire length of Jaffa Street. This is the Shuk, Machane Yehuda, And here, around the shuk, there are probably some more change places. There's one right here to our right. And I think that we might be able to find some more. And there's a bank here to our left, the discount bank, where you can probably withdraw cash with your credit card. All right, friends, I hope that you enjoyed this walking tour in Jerusalem, talking about change places where you can exchange your foreign currency for Israeli shekels. Feel free to write any questions, and I will try to respond to your questions either in text messages or videos, in future videos. I look forward to reading your comments in the comment section of this video, and I hope that you have subscribed and you have checked the notification button. So be well and check out some more videos on my channel.